Thank you. I wasn't planning to speak on this debate, but I'm still green enough in the House to be greatly gratified when you come down and hear sensible speeches from all sides. Oh, Catherine hasn't, perhaps the Greens haven't spoken yet. I came in when Mr Tremaine was speaking, and he was reminding me of my own experiences politically, and also I think I'll probably promote a chortle over that side by confessing that my father was an ardent social creditor and was hugely frustrated by the fact that, and perhaps that explains it all, some would say, he was hugely frustrated by the fact that they got 20-odd% of the vote on occasion. And as Mr Tremaine rightly said, only ever got 2 MPs. Under no stretch of definition, Mr Speaker, can that be called democracy. They were perhaps odd individuals. I certainly witnessed a few at the house in Stout Street. But nevertheless, that was their view. They were citizens of this country. And likewise, I recall very well the New Zealand Party in 1981, which was, I think, the first symptom of disquiet among the population at the skewed results that First Past the Post produced to the benefit of both of the major parties. Of course, the MMP parties, as we've come to be called, didn't exist then because it was damn near impossible. And when you think about it, it was rather heroic of the social creditors to manage against all odds to even get 2, given that the system was against them. But the New Zealand Party was the first sign, I think, and then the Muldoon domination prior to the 84 Longy government promoted again disquiet and upset, and I personally marched in the streets against Mr Muldoon, as he then was, bringing nuclear ships in the winter. He always did it in the winter because it was hard to protest, and did it in June and July, and I recall standing in the rain down by the railway station there a couple of years running. And he delighted in replying to letters, no matter how much thought you put into it, and even if it was only a page and a half, you'd get back one line from the secretary or someone, "Your concern is noted, D. Muldoon." So we ended up with an MMP system which, as Mr Chevelle has said, is not perfect, and Ms Dalzell's contribution was quite valid as well. Our party's position, Mr Speaker, is very, very simple, and that is that the people should decide. We believe in democracy. As Mr Henry was interjecting, Mr Chevelle, this obsession with big business we find quite amusing, especially since the Act helicopters have been long sold and none of us receive our Mercedes, although I was hoping and asked for a powder blue one when I was chosen to the honour of being on number 5. So this idea that big business backs and our fat cat mates writing us out cheques for $1 million every couple of weeks, oh, that it were true, sir. Oh, that it were true. We are very happy to let the people decide. I disagree with Mr Chevelle that it's premature. I think it's probably about the right time for the people to have a say. As he says, Mr Chevelle has said, the number of fringe parties or MMP parties, whatever you like to call them, is reducing. Mr Anderton's off to contest the Christchurch mayoralty, although he hasn't announced it. I think the coiffed fellow who normally sits in front of me will probably go to his well-earned retirement next year, which will leave a spectrum from National on one side, the Maoris, us, the Greens and Labour, which probably reflects the bell curve of New Zealand opinion on many issues, and of course there are cross-party issues as well. As Mr Hodgson said, the Honourable Pete Hodgson also said very correctly, the spectre of the Knesset, I believe the K is actually pronounced, with 30 parties and elections every 3 months. That's never happened here because of the MMP system. But Mr Speaker, we are happy to put the system to the vote. It's probably no great surprise to the House to hear that individual members of our party differ on what they prefer. It may surprise the House to hear, though, that a number of our party are in favour of First Past the Post, which would almost certainly mean our electoral oblivion. But the principle that the people should decide is more important. So we will be certainly supporting this bill to Select Committee and almost certainly beyond that. Thank you.
I call Paul Quinn.